Blah, 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 blah. Certified Yapper. Welcome to the Certified Yapper podcast. I'm your Certified Yapper, Ellie K. Grant, and today we're talking about Mr. Beast and his new show on Amazon Prime, Beast Games.
Welcome to Beast Games!
Mr. Beast, also known as Jimmy Donaldson, is the most subscribed to YouTuber on the platform with 340, little more than that, million subs. That's a lot of subscribers. The second most subscribed YouTuber on the platform, T-Series, has almost 100 million less than Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast originally started with making Minecraft videos and Let's Plays and stuff, but it wasn't until 2017 when he hit virality with his video, I think, counting to 1,000. From there, he began to grow his YouTube empire with multiple channels, including a philanthropy channel. He has his Feastival bars, the Beast Burger thing, which was insane. He has the new Lunchly thing, which is like Lunchables but ripoff with Logan Paul and KSI. I don't even need to get into that. I don't even need to get into that. I like my cheese moldy, bro.
I like my cheese drippy, bro.
You know, and we don't need to get into that today. But he kind of rose to an unthinkable amount of fame, and his videos were high risk, high reward. You know, you participate, you maybe sit in a circle for 3 days, and you'll get $1,000, right? Like not even 1,000, $100,000.
$100,000!
He has a lot of very recognizable things in his videos. You know it's him because he's screaming his head off. Like, sir, you don't need to scream that loud, we're right here. And he is known for putting millions of dollars into his videos and then getting 1,000 people to participate, having big cash prizes, and then getting probably $1 million back from the video. Originally, when making his videos a couple years ago, probably when he was still on his big rise to fame, but he was still one of the most watched YouTubers on the platform. He was known to all the money he would make from a video, he would put into the next one. So it was he would make money and then put it into the next video. And so then it was almost oh my gosh, he's not doing this for himself. He's not doing this to make money. He is doing this to give us more entertainment, which made him a really relatable person because it was he started off with a lot of money, but he continues to put the money into the videos for us to have something to enjoy, which I don't watch his videos very much. I used to. I've watched a couple of them, but not a bunch. But I definitely can see how there might be a disconnect now because he's risen to such big popularity. He's making millions and millions of dollars off of these videos and off of these kids who are watching his videos. And so I don't see how you can find him relatable anymore, but I bet there's a lot of children who watch his videos that still do. In November of 2021, he released his Squid Games in Real Life video, which as of this video has 720 million views. What is so interesting about this video is that it definitely paved the way for his Amazon Prime show. And it also is a great example of a YouTuber with a big platform riding off the coattails of a big release like Squid Game.
Set from Squid Game in real life.
In 2021, Squid Games was such a big show. Everyone was talking about it. And it had the games in the show that he then basically copied for his video. Then there came down to a bunch of legal stuff. A lot of people were saying well, can Netflix sue him? And Netflix never did sue him. But it is also interesting because that whole video is unoriginal. He didn't come up with anything that happened in that video, which then makes you wonder, how did he come up with all of the games in the Mr. Beast show if he's not used to coming up with games on his own? I would like to say that Mr. Beast has kind of Mr. Beastified YouTube. He uses this one specific font in all of his videos, which when his videos started gaining popularity, there were a lot of people who wanted to ride that ride with him. And so they also started using those fonts that he would use. He kind of made clickbait titles and clickbait thumbnails a norm on YouTube, which really frustrated me because I love the authenticity of a video, and the clickbait titles and clickbait thumbnails take all of the authenticity out of a video, in my opinion. He would have big cash prizes, which then led to these smaller creators not being able to get as many views as him because they didn't have the money to put into these videos. It also led to a lot of people faking the money, and there's some people who say that Mr. Beast fakes his cash prizes or doesn't give them, which I don't know if that is true. Also, speaking of that, everything I say in this video is alleged. Alleged. Okay, back to it. He has these big cash prizes, and allegedly, sometimes he doesn't give the cash prizes, but the numbers are so big that you almost have to click. Oh my gosh, someone is going to win $1 million today in this one video. That's insane. So these other creators wanted to write on that, and so they would be like, giving $100,000 to whoever does this. But then it's also like, do you have $100,000 to give? No. So how are you giving this money? It, again, made YouTube really unauthentic. And then Mr. Beast kind of made his videos like, they're like 20-minute long videos. Like they're long, but they're not TikTok long. And he made it like one big long TikTok video where there's jump cuts and there's screaming and there's big lights and there's blah, blah, like there's always something happening. So then you never want to click off. It like short circuits your brain while you're watching, which that's like kind of his signature look. And I think it is why he is so popular, because he makes you not want to leave because you're just like so overwhelmed with everything that's going on in a video. There's no like breath in any of his videos. So then you never get a breath. So then you're just like, you're always on the edge of your seat the whole time, which I don't know. That's not my thing for a video. I don't like the fast paced, but when your whole audience is kids who need something all of the time, it's a perfect formula for success. Now let's talk about Beast Games. Beast Games is Mr. Beast's new show on Amazon Prime with multiple episodes, a $5 million cash prize,
$5 million,
and over 2,000 contestants. Well, technically. There is a episode of the show that's not on Amazon with 2,000 contestants that he put on his YouTube channel. But then the first episode of the Amazon Prime show starts with 1,000 contestants. It has a $100 million production, which is insane. A $5 million city. In the first episode, they give out $1 million in cash prizes. That's not included in the $5 million cash prize. And it's really well shot. It has broken a lot of records recently. Largest cash prize, most cameras, most amount of lawsuits. I don't know if that's actually a record they broke, but probably. And that's crazy. I can't. And it's shown in the production. It has high production value, definitely. I haven't seen any of the episodes on Amazon Prime, but I've watched enough people react to the episodes, which might give me a biased opinion on the show, but just know I might be going into it biased. I just did not want to watch it because Mr. Beast's content isn't really my thing, so watching someone else react to it made it a little better for me to watch. So that's just my little disclaimer. It is beautifully shot, may I just say. They had insane number of cameras. I can't even remember the number of cameras they had on the show because it was so many. And they get every shot, every tear, every scream, every jump in the air. Like they get everything. Through these shots, you do kind of see the humanity of the show. You see how these people are like, they are going through so much just being on the show. They're feeling so many emotions. But I don't know. The whole show to me was a little dystopian. It was a little, hi, my name is Mr. Beast. I'm going to stand on a pile on a pyramid of money, which wasn't real. I'm going to stand on a pyramid of money, and you're all going to look up to me, and I'm like a god, and I have all this money, and all of you guys are fighting for money, right? And it's a little weird. Like it's a little dystopian, especially because it's based off of Squid Game. Sorry, guys. Especially because it's based off Squid Game. And the little whole premise of Squid Game is literally like rich people watching people who need money, poor people, and fight to the death and using them as entertainment, and why that is bad. So I don't think Mr. Beast actually watched Squid Game. He just like stole it for a video and then used it to make his own show. Because the show is on Amazon Prime, he had to come up with all his own games. He was not the creative producer on the show, nor was he the director. And he was an executive producer, though. So I don't know how many of the games he actually came up with himself or his team came up with, but they did have to be original because this wasn't YouTube and they couldn't just like copy another show. From the episodes I have seen, the games were all very luck based, and if they weren't luck based, then they were like pulling a boulder across a field. It's like, how is this fair to, I understand some of the games being luck based and some of them being logic based and some of them being bronze, like all physical, but it seems like a lot of the games were either luck based or physical games. It has received not great critic reviews, which I have mixed feelings on. Coming up, we'll talk about all the lawsuits surrounding the show and the environment and how it probably wasn't great to compete on the show. And so, like, you personally, if knowing what some of those contestants went through, I don't want to endorse the show. But at the same time, you do want this show to do well because it opens the door for more YouTubers and more influencers and creatives to have access to making big scale content like this on a streaming service. You know, a lot of YouTubers, that might not be their dream, but some people that is the dream. Like, you want to make your own movie or show or production that's on a bigger scale, right? And so with these bad critic reviews, I don't know if they are 100% genuine because I know a lot of critics see shows and movies as like a pure art, and they don't like the fact that these YouTubers or like influencers and stuff are taking away from this art that they have and making their own productions. Also, the Mr. Beast show is very much like one big YouTube video. He has the same exact style that he uses for all his YouTube videos. It's like to 1,000 in the show. He has like, instead of his typical font that's 2D, now it's 3D. Oh my gosh, right? Like, and it's like, it's basically just a big YouTube video on Amazon Prime, which is fine because that's what people watch. When people watch his videos, that's what they want. They want the Mr. Beast style. And I certainly am not a fan of the style. It's to cater to kids and children and his audience. I don't see it being catered to critics. And I'm scared that these horrible reviews might deter other platforms from working with creators like they worked with Mr. Beast. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. I have kind of like I don't want it to get good critical acclaim because of all of the alleged scandals surrounding it. But at the same time, you do want it to be critically acclaimed because it opens the door for more creatives to make more productions on this scale. I think the critics definitely had an issue with it being like a YouTube video. Personally, I felt like there could have been more room for some growth, maybe to go outside the box. You don't need to keep the attention every single second on a show because those people are not going to click off. They're not scrolling to the side on the sidebar looking for the next video they're going to watch. They're watching your show. And so there could be more times to breathe. There could be more times to like chill and see the people. There was no humanity in the show at all. There might have been these shots of like people crying and stuff, and you're rooting for the people kind of because you want them to get the money. But at the same time, you don't know a single person. In the first episode alone, I didn't learn a single person's name. And I feel like that is an issue. All reality TV shows are, when I watch a show, like I've watched every single season of The Great British Baking Show. Sue me, it's amazing. I don't watch the show to watch the people bake. I mean, sure, that's part of it. But I watch the show to get to know the people on the show and then be excited when one of them wins. I need someone I'm rooting for, and I need someone that I'm not rooting for. Everyone needs to have their own hero and villain and maybe some side characters along the way who you're like, wait, this person's really funny. Like, I actually would love for them to win it. In the first episode alone, you meet a couple characters. You don't learn their names. You just learn their motivations and what they're going to do with the money, which is great. But I don't know her name. She is trying to get her family out of the poverty pipeline. Well, what is her name? Now you've moved on to the next person. I don't remember her face or her number. There's 1,000 numbers here. How am I supposed to remember a number? What was her name? Well, now we've moved on. And now this guy is screaming about gold chains. I don't even know his name. If I wanted to root for him, I don't know his name. And now I forgot him. I just know what he said. And I think this is something that the show totally misses the mark on, is the fact that reality TV or a show of this caliber is about the people you're watching. I'm not watching a reality show for the host. I'm watching a reality show to watch these people that I'm rooting for, and I want them to win, and I want them to get $5 million. But there's not a single person in these 1,000 people that I want to give the $5 million cash prize to because I don't even know their names. I don't even know. That was a bit frustrating for me because it just felt like there's a disconnect between the people and Mr. Beast. What was interesting, I watched a video by John Uche. He has multiple videos with Mr. Beast breaking down the show. I would totally recommend those. They're really well done. Every video that John Uche puts out is really well done. But watching Mr. Beast break it down also, like, I don't know. With all of the stuff coming out about the show, you want to paint him as a villain. But at the same time, he's just another creative person trying to make his dream come true and make his own video his own show that he's very excited about. And he really tries, and he really thinks that they've conveyed humanity in the show, but they just haven't. And in that video with John Uche, it tells me everything I need. He doesn't even notice that you don't know these people well enough, right? He's like, look at all these people and they're just feeling the emotions that are happening. And that is great. But I'm not going to feel emotions with somebody unless I feel a personal connection with them. And I feel no connections because I don't know anybody. I just know that guy really wants a gold chain, right? So that is just my opinion on the humanity, the dystopian aspects of the show, how you want it to do well, but at the same time with everything coming out, you don't. And I think that is a fine line to walk. It's almost like you don't even want to touch the show because I don't know. It's personally frustrating because I understand having 1,000 contestants on the show can make it difficult production-wise, but also then don't have 1,000 contestants. Have 500. Have something you can handle the production size, so then you don't have all of these alleged scandals coming out about the show. So 5 people have sued Amazon and the show's production team, including Mr. Beast. Giving you some context about the Beast Games show, I'm going to talk about the alleged scandals surrounding the show. Alleged! Mr. Beast is included in the lawsuits. So I'm going to give you kind of a rundown of all of the alleged things that went down on set. I've watched multiple videos made by people who were on the show. I've read plenty of articles about people saying their experiences on the show and what happened to them while they were on the show. And there's a lot to talk about. So I think one of the over all the videos I watched, everyone said, or most people said, that they had trouble with the food that they were given on set. Now, there's 1,000 people, so I totally understand that it's difficult to get 1,000 people food because that's a lot of money. But also, you know what you're getting into. You know what it takes to feed 1,000 people. Allegedly, they were fed only 2 times a day, even though a Mr. Beast representative said that it was 3. But when multiple people are saying 2 times a day, who do you believe? There's 10 plus hours between meals. So they were getting fed 2 times a day. And with 10 hours between meals is insane, especially when they're competing in challenges that require physical strength. A creator on YouTube, Kira Katsu, she made a video basically giving in-depth what type of food they ate on the show. She recreated 2 meals that they ate. And one was almost 200 calories. The other was almost 300 calories. And I don't exactly remember what all was in the meals, but like a lot of people have said that they would get chicken that was undercooked, or food, none of the food was seasoned, or like they would get like 3 broccoli, like just 3 pieces of broccoli. What's so interesting is that even if they were fed 3 times a day with the meals that Kira showed in her video, they probably still wouldn't have gotten, the contestants wouldn't have gotten more than 1,000 calories a day, which is literally the recommended amount of calories for a baby. So that's great. That's great. That is great. Honestly, the only win out of this whole situation is that they weren't given a lunchly, because I feel like that would have been worse, but maybe it would have been better. I don't know. Which would you prefer? Moldy cheese, allegedly, or undercooked chicken, allegedly? Allegedly. I should start an allegedly counter because I don't know how many times you gotta say it. Next, we're gonna talk about the medical care, or lack thereof. Apparently there were only 2 ambulances on set for 1,000 people, which I don't think is very smart. Multiple people have said that they saw someone have a seizure on set, but I've seen a lot of stuff that said there were at least 2 people that had a seizure. So there was at least 1 person that had a seizure, allegedly. There were multiple hospitalizations. I saw something that said that a hospital near the set had dozens of people come in wearing plastic bags, trash bags, which is insane, because they couldn't go out wearing their Mr. Beast like uniforms and stuff. So they had to go out wearing trash bags to the hospital. And lots of people were hospitalized because of lack of food and water, which the representatives have said that people had plenty of water and like Gatorades and stuff, but lots of people said that they ran out quickly. And so it was like really hard to get hydrated. Also, the contestants themselves did not have access to their own medication. Before going into the games, the production team told each contestant to bring 5 days worth of their medication, and then they would distribute it through each day that they were there. But plenty of contestants have said that they did not receive any of the medication till days into the competition. One woman said that she went without her heart medication for 4 days, and then when she got given her pills, she was missing pills, allegedly. And that's crazy. They took her meds, lost her meds, and she went without medication that she needed for 4 days. One woman claimed that she went without insulin for 4 days and went into diabetic shock. All of the contestants went without feminine products, so many people claimed that they were literally bleeding through their clothes, bleeding through their pads, because they couldn't change them and they couldn't have access to any feminine products that they needed. They weren't allowed to shower. So, I understand a lot of these things. Like, I totally get it. It's a competition show. You're not going to get fed great food, and you're not going to get like you're not going to be able to shower every single day, right? Because it's like a competition. But to be malnourished, to be told that you could bring in medication, but then not given the medication that you need to survive, that woman needed her insulin. And then to be bleeding out, to be bleeding on all of your clothes because they can't even provide feminine products to you, that's insane. The craziest part about this to me was each contestant was told to bring 5 pairs of underwear or undergarments in bags with their names labeled on them, and production lost them. How do you lose 1,000 pairs of underwear or 5,000 pairs of underwear? How do you lose it? I certainly don't know. That's crazy. Each contestant brought bags with them. They stayed in hotel rooms and then they went into the games. And then their bags were moved to other rooms. And they all said that like they had to comb through like basically 1,000 suitcases to find theirs, which is crazy. The communication on the set was horrible. Apparently there was no communication between the production team and head of production, which probably led to them losing 5,000 pairs of underwear. Crazy to me. And allegedly, they were paid hush money. So when you left the games, each person that participated in the games got $2,000 and also then was told that they could get paid more money if they signed, I don't even know if it was an NDA, but maybe some paper to say that they weren't going to talk about their experience, which I think is pretty normal. Some people didn't sign. I doubt that any of the people that I watched on YouTube signed it, but whatever. And then after the games were over, they called back a bunch of contestants and asked them to sign another NDA. I think that is suspicious. Allegedly. I think that's pretty suspicious, if you ask me. So, I think all of this was part of the game, honestly. While I agree that it definitely is due to the lack of preparation on production's part, I think that all of this had to do with the game. If you don't feed people enough, they're going to get angry. And that's going to make great television. If you don't feed people enough, well, maybe they'll just ask to go home. Then you don't have to give them money. If you don't give people the medical care they need, then that's going to start some drama because there's people in need of something. And now they're going to want to fight for it, right? Like, I don't know, but I also think it looks really bad on the part of the production team if you have multiple seizures on set, multiple people being hospitalized, and no one to be seen to help those people. That doesn't look great. So I don't really know what they gained out of this. I do understand like trying to stir up drama and maybe trying to save money by not having to feed 1,000 people the food that they need, but then don't have 1,000 people. These are the choices we make. When we make choices to make a show and you're putting millions of dollars into that show, then we need to make smart decisions about how we treat the people that are on our show and that are inevitably going to make us money. So I think that this is all important to think about when you watch the show, that you are inevitably making money off of these people and their suffering. I think it's important that we talk about these things. We talk about what these people are saying and we uplift their voices. And if it comes out that it was all fake, then at the very least, if it was all real, then these people will maybe receive justice for what happened to them on the set of this show. I think it's difficult because I know I said this countless times in this video because of the critic while talking about the critic reviews, but I really wanted this show to do well and I really wanted to root for it. I'm not a Mr. Beast fan, but I'm a fan of people getting platforms and people having the ability to make what they want and what makes them happy. But when you are given a platform of this size and then you put people through this that don't deserve it, then, and people who are fighting for their lives anyway to get money, and then you put them through even more, then I think that's diabolical. So I think that is all I have today to talk about. Watch my other videos. Don't watch the Mr. Beast games. And watch some of the creators I mentioned today because they were all great. Watch some of the videos of people talking about their experiences on the games because those are really interesting to watch and to hear. And check out Rosanna Pansino, who has covered all of this and even more. So I'll see you next time, or maybe not. And thank you so much for watching.